Welcome to the second half of this little series. I've been making about the ceiling fan and washer history of my on both my grandparents' sides. Both grandparents on my mom on my damn it, damn it, damn it. My grandparents' ceiling fans and washer history on both sides of the family. Last time we talked about my grandparents on my dad's side of the family, and now we're going to be talking about my mom's side, which, to be honest, is even more interesting than what we talked about earlier with my grandparents on my dad's side. So just like the beginning of the first version of this video, for the other grandparents, I have no idea I don't know the entirety of the ceiling fan history. They didn't live in the house that they live in now. They used to live somewhere else, and obviously I was not around to even see that and stuff. So I have no idea what all there was there. So we're going to be starting this off in the house that they currently live in. So the first ceiling fan is the first ceiling fan's long gone. It's been around for a few years, but it's met its unfortunate end. So there's no picture of it that I know of. So I tried to search for an image of a ceiling fan that looked close, that kind of looked like it. I guess this is the closest we can get to it. So the first ceiling fan is the living room ceiling fan. That's why I start off with when I make ceiling fan videos. I always start off with the living room ceiling fan since that's like the main fan of the house. So there used to be this old cane blade fan that looked like it was from the 80s or 90s. Whatever, it was pretty old. It was not a hugger, obviously. It had a down rod, a very, very small down rod. So yeah, it was only a 5-bladed fan. I remember it having at least 3 or 4 lights on it. And I also remember the pull chains being twice as long as normal ceiling fan pull chains. Classic for old ceiling fans, I guess. Almost every old ceiling fan that I've ever seen or used usually has old pull chains. This one was apparently no exception. One day in the middle 2010s, I think, it just randomly fell onto the ground in the middle of the night. So my grandparents replaced it with, so that it's just a normal modern ceiling fan. I don't think I've ever made a video of it before it was in the state that it's in on this screenshot. But it was similar to the old ceiling fan. It had brown blades. It had a basic motor house. It had basic motor housing and all that crap. Pull chains were normal size, and it only had like only 4 lights on it. As you can see, in this picture, one of the light bulbs are missing. In the picture, you can see that the light, the chandelier on it, is just hanging by its cords. Because during this day, when I was at my grandparents' house, my grandpa got into it and he had to fix it. So he kind of ripped it apart. Because the problem was the pull chain for a light stopped working, so he had to replace it for a little bit, just for the meantime, because it will eventually be replaced not too long after. Actually, I think it was replaced the exact same day I was here, like after I went home and stuff. My grandma sent me a video of the new ceiling fan. This ceiling fan was pretty basic and stuff. I think it's been around since the mid 2010s, I believe. It looks like any sort of modern ceiling fan you would see nowadays. So it was really nothing special. I could say the same thing to the ceiling fan that replaced this one. Here's the ceiling fan that replaced it. So as you can see, it also has 5 brown blades, basic motor housing and stuff. But this time, it has a giant globe on it for a light. I'm pretty sure it has 2 light bulbs in it. Usually with ceiling fans with these globes, they usually only take like 2 light bulbs, one on each side. It's also a basic, boring modern ceiling fan. This here is not new, actually. I think you can probably say this might be older than the second ceiling fan. Maybe, I don't know. So the trailer that my grandparents were living in is pretty small. So my grandparents decided to build onto it. Their entire plan was to have another half of the house, well, trailer. So they bought this ceiling fan you see in the picture to hang up in the living room there. They're going to replace living rooms. That was a long time ago, and the other half of the trailer has been built on, but it's just being used as storage now. So yeah, I I I severely doubt they're ever going to really do anything else with that space. They're probably just going to use it for storage until they die or something, or move out possibly. But they did have this ceiling fan just sitting around in one of the kid bedrooms, aka my grandpa's computer room. So yeah, it's just been sitting there for years, and now it's being used finally because honestly, I have no idea why they decided to completely replace the other ceiling fan. All they really had to do was just put the chandelier back on to the fan, and I guess that's there must have been something else. I don't know. A little weird. It would be cool if the ceiling fan was installed in one of those two kids' rooms. Like it would be cool if it was in. Actually, no, never mind. I was going to say it would be cool if the ceiling fan was installed in my grandpa's computer room, but the ceiling is pretty. It looks pretty low, and there's like it's also used as a storage room, so there's boxes and stuff that that touch the ceiling, so that really wouldn't work. So that's it for the living room fans. Now time to move on to the quote unquote second fan. The second ceiling fan is it's actually a pretty cool one. It's not basic. Well, at least that's what I think. It's also another just another five-bladed ceiling fan with dark brown blades on it. The housing it's also basic. This is a housing you see on every ceiling fan. Um, but it does have a cool design on it, I believe. It has three lights on it, and it has a very long pull chain. And I remember both pull chains were just they were both normal, but the pull chain you see that is very long, that one was a replacement chain, I think, something like that. I don't know. I think the pull chain was ripped out or it just stopped working inside the little box thing up on the ceiling fan. Because I do remember my grandpa working on it and trying to fix one of the pull chains. So I guess he just also decided to make it longer. But he probably got tired of just getting out of bed to turn on the light or something every morning. So he would just all he would have to do is reach out his arm until he could pull the chain because it is long, just like my parents are doing now. The ceiling fan is also old. I don't know if it's exactly a 90s ceiling fan, but it reminds me of a 90s ceiling fan. It just has that look to it, but it might be from the 2000s. I don't know. I do know that it's been around for quite a long time. It was around since the very first living room ceiling fan, the one with the cane blades. This here is the last ceiling fan in the house. So yeah, there's only two ceiling fans in the entire trailer. So yeah, there's that. Yep, it would be nice if there was more, but that's all my grandparents have in their house. But lucky for you all, there's actually two other ceiling fans we're going to be talking about, but they're not in the house. They're actually in my grandpa's little shop beside the house. It's time for the third and fourth ceiling fans. This here is ceiling fan number 3. This here is the main shop ceiling fan, and for the longest time, it was the only shop ceiling fan. Was the only ceiling fan in the shop. I don't know. There might be more just laying around the shop, possibly. That like there's a bunch of random crap in my grandpa's shop because it's mostly used for storage. But this here is the only one that worked. Every time you would turn the lights on to the entire shop, the fan would come on. But in the more recent years of the 2010s, it stopped working. Yep, my grandpa told me that it just randomly stopped working one day. So it's been hanging there this entire time, just doing nothing. And when I saw it again for the first time in years, I found out it was actually missing one of its blades. This fan is a five-bladed ceiling fan, five-bladed cane ceiling fan, to be more specific, even though it's pretty obvious. I have no idea how that fifth blade was lost. Oh well, I wonder. Yeah, I really wonder what happened. That would be nice to know. Only had one I mean, it only has one pull chain because obviously it doesn't have any light on it because really, what's the use? There's multiple lights surrounding it that are even brighter than what this ceiling fan could ever have. The pull chain is obviously for the fan itself. And look at it. Doesn't that look cool? I like how old school it looks. This is basically every single ceiling fan chain you would see on any old school ceiling fan. Looks so classic, so countryside-ish looking. Oh, I also forgot to mention it's missing its little top cap that covers up the little that black thing up there. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, it's missing that little cap that covers that all up. I don't know what happened there. Maybe it was always like that. I'm not too sure, but I do remember it having a cap on it. So there's that nice little ceiling fan. Sadly, it doesn't work. That's a shame. I wish it did work. I would have loved to make a video of it running. Well, at least I just made a video of it. That's good enough for me. All right, time for the fourth ceiling fan. So this here is the last ceiling fan that is actually hung up. If there's any sort of hidden ceiling fan here, then it's most definitely somewhere just laying around in the shop. It's not hung up or being used at all. What the? I don't know what happened there. I guess I pressed something. Like I was saying, if there's any hidden ceiling fan somewhere around here, it would just be laying around in a shop. It would not be hung up like this one. This here would have just been one of those ceiling fans that would have just been lying around the shop. But I told my grandpa to hang it up because I thought that would look cool. So this here has an interesting this ceiling fan here has an interesting story. This ceiling fan is the original ceiling fan that came with my house. Well, not well, my I mean my house was built in the 80s, so this ceiling fan was probably not the original living room ceiling fan, but it's a fan that I grew up with. This is the fan that was replaced by the living room fan you see in my house today. It worked perfectly fine. It had a very long pull chain too, but my mom decided that she wanted a new one because this one's ugly. Well, she said it's ugly. I don't care if a ceiling fan's ugly or not. They always look cool to me, unless if they're just a basic modern ceiling fan like we looked at earlier. Has a very long pull chain with a cool looking black and white tip on it because the ceiling fan used to be very high up on our ceiling at the house. It used to have a little light kit on it, chandelier light kit, whatever you want. I think they're actually called light kits. I'll call them that for now on throughout the rest of this video. The light kit consisted of four lights, I think. They look similar to the picture of the very first ceiling fan that I've shown in this video. That wavy type cup glass look. So yeah, when it was hung up, that light kit was intact. But in this picture or screenshot, as you can see, the light kit is gone, and the actual cap to the little box for the switches is open, exposing the wires. You know, when I first saw it, I assumed that the light kit just fell down after so many years of just hanging up there for some reason, even though it just sounds stupid. Now I think that since that other ceiling fan, the living room ceiling fan that was recently replaced, had light problems, I have a feeling that my grandpa uh, um, used some parts off this ceiling fan here for that ceiling fan, so he just left it open and all that stuff. That's why I now think. That's why I bet. So yeah, there's that. It would be nice if it did have its chandelier on it because it looked cooler with its chandelier. I mean, light kit. Yeah, it would be nice if it had its light kit because that would be cool. So yeah, that's all for ceiling fans. So yeah, if there's any more, then they're just hidden around, they're just lying around in the shop, just hidden from any view, hidden from any human eyes. Okay, so yeah, there's that. See y'all later. Bye.